Hey, what is going on everyone? It's Pure Gaming here, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys the basics of Redstone for Minecraft. I know a lot of you guys want to put stuff in your house that requires switches, levers, all kinds of stuff like that, but you're not really sure how to do it, and you want to know a lot more about Redstone because your knowledge, like mine used to be, is very limited. And like, if you use Redstone in your builds, your houses, everything that you make will be way cooler than what they currently are. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Redstone now is the actual redstone itself is actually like a powder form type material, which is actually more so like a wire, and it carries the redstone signal throughout it. So if you have redstone source like a torch, as you can see, the redstone just lit up because it's carrying a redstone signal. When I take that away, it goes back to the plain old color because redstone by itself does not carry a charge. It's just like wire, and you need a source to carry through that wire to power something like a redstone lamp, which is pretty much like a light bulb in this case. So with that said, guys, let's get into sources of redstone. Include redstone torch, a redstone block, a lever which toggles kind of like a light switch. You have a button which is a temporary on and off. You hit it, stays on for a couple seconds and turns off. A pressure plate where someone or an animal needs to be constantly stepping on it for it to stay on. When you step off of it, or any living thing steps off of it, it will turn off. You also have what's called a tripwire, and when someone is stepping on it or they walk past it, it'll send pretty much the same thing as a button will do, or a pressure plate. It's kind of like a button and a pressure plate combined. More like a pressure plate, but this is good if you want like a trap or something for people. A little bit of a defensive side to your home, which we'll get into how you can do these later and how you can really make them effective. And you also have what's called a daylight sensor, and when the sun is shining, it is pretty much like a solar panel that powers this redstone, which you can actually make it control street lights at night, all kinds of stuff, but we'll get into that another day. Now, a couple things you need to know about redstone is that when you have a redstone source to the redstone does not go on forever. You will need to add what's called a redstone repeater. Now what this thing does is two things. One, it carries it boosts the redstone signal, my bad, and it also can add a delay. But like as you can see here, the space in between the source, the redstone torch, and the light, which is the output, is 15 blocks. Now those 15 blocks only is like the maximum output, like I said, I believe I said that earlier, for the redstone. It can only travel 15. As you can see here, there's a darker color on the left and there's a brighter on the left. If I put the redstone lamp here, nothing's going to be powered because that's 16 spaces. 15 spaces, voila, the light's on. And pretty much what you can do here, this is 30 spaces here. When you put this repeater here, it has to be put in a certain direction. If you put it in this direction, it's a one-way switch type thing, so only current's going to go up to it and nothing else. So it has to be put in the right way, and when that's done, as you can see, the light goes on and it continues another 15 blocks. Now, one useful thing with these redstone repeaters is that they have what's called ticks, or like switches. You can set it to 1, which is the fastest, 2, which is a little bit slower, 3 and 4, and it goes fastest to slowest the farther it gets away from this other mini redstone torch type thing that's on there. Now this is important if you want a delay in your switch. So as you can see here, it takes a split second for the light to turn on, but when it's on the fastest mode, as you can see here, it turns on instantly. So that's important if you want to delay things, which is important for stuff like escalators, as we'll get to later one day. As you can see here though, they're going on different times, and that is because these repeaters actually have different settings on them. But we'll get into that another day. So redstone can be used for a multiple number of things. It can be used for what's called a dispenser. We'll get into like the specifics of what each one of these things do another day, but it can be used for a dispenser, which dispenses objects. As you can see, it dispensed obsidian that I had stored in there. A piston, which pushes things up and down, and a dropper, which drops items. And also a glowstone, or a redstone lamp, my bad, which is pretty much like a light bulb. It can also be used to open doors and a couple other things. You might find it useful if you want to make a railroad track, and like an awesome if you want to make a really cool railroad track, put stuff on, carry stuff through, It's used for that, for these powered rails, and it's also, the switches are also used for to change the direction of these corners. That pretty much sums up the basics of redstone, guys. I hope I did clear some things up, like about your redstone concerns. One extra thing I'd like to throw in this video is when you supply redstone to a block, what it'll do, and you like add power to this, it actually makes the inverse when you have torches on here. So if you have torches on here and you either put a torch right here or a switch right there, it'll actually make the inverse. So that's powering on, going to this block, and this block actually does emit some redstone signal, as you can see, not from there, but actually if anything is on top of the rock or on top of the block, it'll actually emit the signal to the block, through it, and up to whatever you're trying to power. So that's something to keep in mind, guys. Rather than that, I will make more specific tutorials in the future, but I figured this quick tutorial will let you guys know a little more about redstone than what you currently do. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to drop a quick like on this video, share with your buddies, and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Call of Duty Advanced Warfare glitches, Minecraft tutorials, and more. Remember, it's been Pure Glory Gaming here, and I am out.